Every time you say yes to one priority or three, you're also saying no to something that mattered less. That's not failure. That's wisdom. That's where God strategically joins with you to go, you're right. These are the things that we are going to prioritize. Ask him for the vision. Ask him for what his priorities would be for these three categories in your unique life.
Hello and welcome to the Encourager Podcast, where we talk about real life and real systems so you can joyfully harmonize both home and work. I'm your host, Rebecca Scott. I'm a wife, mom, designer, coach, and lifelong systems thinker. And I help overwhelmed women build simple, sustainable rhythms that actually work for their real lives. Around here, we talk about priorities, pre-decisions, and practical tools that bring peace instead of pressure. Because you don't need more hustle, you need better systems and more grace. Today's episode is a good one.
Hello, Encouragers. On this week's podcast, we're going to talk about finishing the year with strategy and not striving. And you've heard me talk about a similar episode to this last spring, and I just think how important it is as we move into the fall, not to get into that hustle mentality, like finish strong and all of that, but rather reverse engineering how we're going to strategically plan and not strive so we can, in fact, finish well and not strong and stressed out. Every August, I hear this. I'm going to finish this year strong. And I do personally love that goal, but I know that sometimes finishing strong quietly becomes, I have to do everything before December. It's just this tiny little hustle muscle in our body. And that's where the striving will sneak in. So today, I want to give you permission to finish the year strategically instead. Because God never asked us to carry everything. Hear that again. He never asked us to carry everything. He simply asked us to faithfully steward what he's given us. And that includes goals and ideas and patterns and systems. Remember what we talked about in our last episode. When we're rooted in him, we don't have to chase everything. We can intentionally choose what matters most. So you do not need to accomplish everything before December. You know this, but I want you to hear it. You simply need to accomplish the right things. And that is the difference between strategy and striving. So I want you to ask yourself this question. If December came tomorrow, just think about it. If December came tomorrow, what would matter the most? What would deserve your attention? And what just simply wants your attention? Okay, those are two very different lists. So I'm going to have you choose three priorities in each area of your life: personal, family, and work. And you're going to choose three priorities for each of those categories. Not 30, not even 10, just three in each of those categories. And everything else will become secondary, not ignored, just no longer competing for first place. This is how we're going to be strategic. Now stay tuned. I'll also help you reverse engineer how to get there so we can get really detailed on how to do this. Okay, your first is 3 personal priorities. Now here are some examples of what maybe your first 3 personal priorities would be. Remember though, these are just examples. I would like you to take the time, maybe in the first 10 minutes of listening to the episode, to think through for you personally, what would be your top 3 personal priorities if December came tomorrow that you would want to be strategic about. So here's some examples. Maybe you improve your sleep by 10%. That would be a huge improvement, right? Maybe you walk 4 days each week. Maybe it's finishing one encouraging book. Maybe it's signing up for one-on-one coaching, shameless plug right there, okay? Maybe it's read through one book of the Bible. Maybe it's memorizing scriptures, drinking more water consistently, stop scrolling after 8 p.m. at night, setting a limit on social media on your phone. Maybe it's completing a fitness goal, or maybe it's spending 15 minutes with God every morning or night. Ask yourself, if I only accomplish 3 personal goals by December, which 3 would actually matter? For myself, I always want to share that so that you know that when I write these podcasts, I am personally looking at this myself and thinking, how will I do this? I'm going to read my Bible every single day, no matter what. I'm also going to keep on my pull-ups about 4 times a week. When I did a pull-up challenge a couple years back, I felt so strong. And I want to keep that up. So I'm going to do that about 4 times a week, tracking it using my habit tracker. That's available on our website, theencouragerpodcast.com. And I'm still tallying this also on my habit tracker, and it's listening, not lecturing. This is a personal goal of mine because it involves so many roles of my life. Listening to my husband finish his sentence before I have an idea. Listening to my children before I have feedback. And so I've been really trying to tally and pay attention to, am I listening or lecturing? Okay, now 3 family priorities. Here are some examples. Ask yourself if you don't want to hear the examples because you want to start right away with what would your unique family setup be, by all means, pause it here, think through 3 family priorities, or have these as examples. You want to eat dinner together 3 nights a week. Maybe you want to save for a February family vacation. Maybe it's having one family night every single week or having one family over once a month. Maybe it's creating a peaceful morning routine or finishing one home project together. Maybe it's eating around the table instead of in front of screens. What would 3 family priorities look like for you? Ask yourself, when my family looks back on this fall, what do I hope they remember? For myself, in the family priorities category, I'm going to do 3 meals weekly. And a part of me gets a little sad when I say that because it used to be up to 5 to 6. But the truth is, in this stage of life, with this many kiddos and this many activities and this many priorities, the 3 meals a week is about what we average. I'd love to increase it, but I know realistically, without striving and being strategically, 3 is what I can plan for. I want to do 1 campfire a week, even if it's on a weeknight. There tends to be so much bonding that's done over a fire, and we've got a great little setup here on the farm, so I want to do 1 campfire a week. We're also planning for a February vacation because one of our kiddos has a special birthday coming up, so we're going to start saving for that, and I am declaring that because we can budget for it and therefore reverse engineer how to save up for it.
Hey, Encouragers, hope you're enjoying this episode. We'll be right back after this short break. This episode of The Encourager is brought to you by Rebecca Scott Designs, where we create thoughtfully designed purses and accessories that support your real life, not just your outfit. Every bag is designed with intention, handcrafted right here in South Dakota, and built around the belief that beauty and function should work together. From custom fabrics and linings to leathers, zippers, and really cool features, you get to design a piece that truly fits your life. Visit designyourownbag.com to create your own custom bag and use code ENCOURAGER for $10 off your purchase.
Okay, category number 3, 3 work priorities. This is where you're going to take a look at work and decide if these 3 things were done before December and you were strategic about them, how good would you feel at the end when you strategically plan for these? So here are some examples, but if you don't want to hear the examples, please pause right here and think through for your work what would make the most impact for 2026 when you prioritize these 3 things before December. Some examples. You launch 1 new product or service really well, diving into this 1 new product or service. Maybe it's finishing 1 project that you've been putting off that you do want to accomplish by the end of 2026. Maybe it's improving your customer experience. That can make a big difference in your bottom line. Maybe it's already creating next year's marketing calendar. Or maybe it's building 1 new system that will save you time. Or maybe it's hiring me to help you develop and sustain and create that system that will make a big difference to your bottom line. Also, shameless plug, I love creating systems. Maybe you're going to delegate 1 responsibility in your work that you know you need to delegate for you to stay in your lane. Maybe it's growing your email list. Maybe it's increasing your profit instead of just simply increasing busyness. That one's going to take a couple of thought patterns, but we can do that. Or maybe it's improving 1 area of leadership within your team or within yourself. And what would that be? Ask yourself, if I only moved my work forward in 3 meaningful ways, what would they be? Remember, just 3. So for myself, I am definitely prioritizing my Encourager Awards. That's all I can tell you. That is a big dangling carrot, but it's something that I've had on my heart for probably about a year now. And in some prayer and stuff, it's really come about that this is something that I want to implement. I'm not sure if it'll be implemented in 2027 or what, but I'm definitely laying some groundwork for it to happen. I'm also opening 2 more coaching spots in the fall that I really want to accomplish before 2026. And I need to work on my conversion rate on my website to average at least 1.7, which seems really, really tiny, but in the retail world, that's just where we're at. And if I can average that by fixing my website and fixing where the traffic and stuff is coming from, I exponentially increase my revenue for RSD. So I've really got to concentrate on that and how to get that conversion rate where I want it. Okay, now with these being said, I want to explain to you again reverse engineering, because I'm not just going to lay these out there and say, go get them, Tiger. You know, because I am system oriented and I love to coach, I want to reverse engineer how to make these priorities happen in these categories. So don't start with today, start with December. Ask yourself, what would I love to be able to say I completed by the end of this year? Then I want you to work backward. For example, if one of your personal priorities is completing 3,000 sit-ups by December, how many is that each month, each week, each day? Suddenly, something so overwhelming, 3,000 sit-ups, becomes actually completely doable. P.S. I've done it. It's amazing. It builds your strength so much. Let's say your family priority is saving $1,200 for February vacation. Reverse engineer it. That's about $300 each month and around $75 each week. Now you know exactly what you're aiming for. If one of your work priorities is launching a new product before Thanksgiving, reverse engineer that too. August, you finalize the idea. September, you create it. October, you photograph it and you market it. November, you launch it. Or maybe your goal is adding 100 new people to your email list by December. That's only about 20 to 25 new subscribers each month. Reverse engineering takes a dream and it turns it into a plan. Now, you know I will always give you permission. If this feels overwhelming to accomplish these 9 things in these 3 categories, that's okay. I don't want you to choose 9. Then I want you to choose 1. 1 personal priority, 1 family priority, and 1 work priority. Progress doesn't require complexity. It requires clarity. Busy people react. Strategic people decide. So if 9 is overwhelming, decide on 3 and then go get them, Tiger. Every time you say yes to 1 priority or 3, you're also saying no to something that mattered less. That's not failure. That's wisdom. That's where God strategically joins with you to go, you're right. These are the things that we are going to prioritize. Ask him for the vision. Ask him for what his priorities would be for these 3 categories in your unique life. Here's the challenge. Now, this is next level, but I would love for you guys to share this on Instagram with me. I want you to lay out a piece of paper and I want to call it your 9 before December. So before you finish today's episode, grab 1 sheet of paper and I want you to write at the top, my 9 before December. Then create 3 simple sections: personal, 1, 2, 3, family, 1, 2, 3, and work, 1, 2, 3. Don't overthink it. Don't try to make it perfect. Don't take it to the graphic designer. Guys, let's just keep it really simple and then ask yourself, if December came tomorrow, what would I be most grateful I accomplished this year? And write those 9 priorities down. Then place that paper somewhere you'll naturally see it every day. Maybe it's inside your planner. Maybe it's on your bathroom mirror. Maybe it's on your refrigerator. Maybe it's on your desk. Maybe it's on your phone screensaver. Wherever you will see it often to remind yourself these 9 and these 9 alone. Or if you chose the 3, these 3 and these 3 alone. Then every time a new opportunity or a request or a commitment or a distraction comes your way, you will pause and ask yourself, does this help one of the 9 before December, or is it simply asking for my attention? That one question has the power to protect your calendar, your energy, and your peace. So this week, don't create a longer to-do list. Create a shorter priority list. Remember, busy people react and strategic people decide. Every yes to one of the 9 before December priorities is also a loving no to something that simply wasn't yours to carry. As you move through this fall, don't measure success by how exhausted you are. Don't measure success by how many boxes you checked. I want you to measure success by asking yourself this one question: did I faithfully do what God asked me to do with these 9? That's what strategic living looks like. It's not rushing. It's not striving. It's not trying to accomplish everything before December. It's just faithfully choosing what matters most. 1 intentional priority, 1 faithful decision, and 1 small step at a time. And imagine sitting down at the end of this year and saying, whoa, we didn't do everything, but we did do what matters most, and I did complete it. And when you live with intention, You create more harmony in your home, you create more peace in your body, and then you have more margin to notice what God is doing along the way, and that'll be worth it every single time. And if this sounds good and you're like, gosh, this is so edible, like I know how I can reverse engineer, I've already thought of some priorities as you were listening, I would love to come beside you and coach you one-on-one this fall. So if you want some help figuring out what those priorities are and you want to, in fact, finish this year with more intention and less hustle, I'd love to pair up with you. Go to theencouragerpodcast.com and book a discovery call. We've got this because he's got us.
If this podcast has encouraged you or helped you in any way, I'd be so grateful if you'd subscribe and leave a 5-star review. It truly helps more women find these conversations. And if you're listening thinking, I don't need more motivation, I need someone to help me figure out my actual life, that's exactly what I do. Through Encourager Academy and one-on-one coaching, I help women build personalized systems for their home, work, and life rhythms. No cookie-cutter routines, but structures that fit your unique personality, your season, and your capacity. You can explore the Academy or book a free discovery call at theencouragerpodcast.com. Let's take your next small step forward together.